We have your morning sunshine and all the best music.
The sunshine of my life.
It's The Morning Show with Beverly on Classic Hits, KLOR.
Beverly here. Thank you for listening to The Morning Show. One of my favorite people is in the studio. He joins us each Friday here at Team Radio to talk about very important subjects.
Just all types
Always.
of stuff. Yeah, but important stuff, timely stuff, hopefully.
Well, I'm happy to have you here. Shannon Mallory, the Ag Educator for the K County OSU Extension Office in Newkirk. Welcome.
Welcome. I just want everyone to know that when the little bump before we get on, we go live, so to speak here, and it says with Beverly points at herself.
Thanks for telling everybody. And Shannon, I point at you too.
There you go.
Yes. We got Shannon Mallory. Yeah. Thank you for coming in. And so, what are we talking about today?
Well, real quick, I'm gonna bring up a couple of things. Yesterday we had our Master Gardener Fall Workshop. It was windy as can be.
Oh yeah.
We moved it into the bus barn of the First United Methodist Church. We were having it at their outdoor pavilion, and we moved it into the bus barn. Went really well. We had about 25 people there. Everybody got to go home with Koki Dama, the little moss ball planter.
Yeah, I saw your post. It looks like everybody was happy and smiling, and it was a lot of fun.
It was a whole lot of fun.
And they're a lot bigger than I thought they were going to be.
Yeah, they're about. I mean, if you make a ball of dirt with
like
your
about
hand,
a softball size. You know,
yeah, they're a
pretty good
about
size.
a softball size.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You can make them as big and as small as you want. But that was our little idea, and everybody had a little succulent that they went home with
Very
too.
Interesting.
As well. So it went really well. Congrats to the master. Great job to the Master Gardeners for putting on that activity. And then yesterday, I was just across the street in the evening with Ponca Young Employees. We did like a little, they call it paint and sip.
At Doodle Academy?
At Doodle Academy, exactly.
Such a fun place. I love that place.
Austin had put that on, and that was a lot of fun last night. Get to go over there.
You didn't do things that had to do with dirt and plants then. You got to do something different.
Though I did look inside there, and they have a lot of dirt and plants in there.
Okay.
In their
so
place.
You're still checking out
So we were still checking them
stuff.
out. Yeah.
All right.
Exactly. So we had a great time. So a couple of cool little events that we had yesterday in Ponca City. Always got something going on here, and it was a lot of fun to get to be a part of those. Yep. So a lot of people. It's cooling down. A lot of our cattle producers, livestock producers, it's cooling down, and you're going to start feeding hay. We're going to talk about forage testing, and some listeners out there may be like, why do you even need to test your forage? Grass is grass, right? Or hay is hay. Nope. There's better hay, there's lower quality hay, and it's important to know that. Just like you see that little nutritional label on your cereal box or something, each type of hay, depending on when it was cut, depending on the weather, depending on how much fertilizer, all kinds of factors can contribute to changes in the nutrients of that hay. Okay. So it's important to test. Forage tests are done through many private labs out there. You can send them off to private labs, but Oklahoma State University does have their soil water forage lab at Oklahoma or at Stillwater. It's ran by the Plant and Soil Sciences Department, and they run a ton of tests for them, including soil, water, forages, animal waste. And you go, why would I need to test animal waste? It's a fertilizer, so you need to know how much you're putting on there for your fertilizer. A very common one we do is chicken poop. A lot of the chicken houses in eastern Oklahoma and western Arkansas, they dispose of their litter by allowing people to spread it on their agricultural fields. It's a type of fertilizer, but they need to know how much of that is actually phosphorus or nitrogen that they're putting onto their field. But for forage test, the test gives us crude protein, acid detergent fiber, neutral detergent fiber, and probably in my position as a county educator, the most important information is total digestible nutrients. Basically, how much of that hay being consumed by that animal is getting digested and turned into beef, pork, maybe in some instances.
Depends on the animal.
Yeah, lamb, goat. How much of it is getting turned into meat, for that producer? So, how do I collect a soil or how do I collect a forage sample?
A poo sample, or no, we're going back to the hay.
Forage. We're doing all forage today. I'm so used to reminding people to collect soil samples that I'm going off the cuff here.
All right.
Yes, but anyway, how do I remind people, or how do we do it?
Okay.
Ideally, you will go to multiple different hay bales. when you're
Okay.
testing this. We have Forage probes that you can hook up to a power drill or some hand crank variety ones. But we have ones that are power drill driven that you hook up to your DeWalt battery drill or Milwaukee or whatever one, and you drill it into the net wrap side of the bale, and it collects maybe about 2 ounces of cut up hay.
Interesting. So you
And-
don't want to just pull it from the outside of the bale.
You don't want to just pull it from the outside only, and you want to go through those multiple layers that the round bale or the straw bale made, and get an average of what hay you have there to feed. We'll get those results back in about 3 weeks. It's a busy time of year. Everybody's testing their hay right now, so I'm going to say 3 weeks just to be safe. Basic forage tests that are going to give us our crude protein and total digestible nutrients are $14. So they're not very expensive.
Reasonable.
Yep, they're not very expensive at all. And, if you have 50 hay bales, you really only need one test if you're doing a composite example or test of all of those hay bales that you've got. And we'll be really, really close.
Assuming they all came from the same field.
Yeah, assuming they came from the same field, they were cut at the same time.
Okay.
It's the same cutting. Let's say
Okay.
it that way. Yep. The other thing that I would recommend adding to that test is nitrate toxicity. We've talked about that on air a couple of times. If you have Johnson grass, hay grazer, sorghum, Sudan grass, those are both the same type. Corn, milo, brome, or millet hay, those are all prone to having nitrate toxicity. So we recommend adding that $6 test to make sure that it's safe for your animals to consume.
Okay.
It just gives you peace of mind and basically just gives you peace of mind on there. When we get those results from the lab, we can use the crude protein and the total digestible nutrient numbers to calculate the cheapest forage supplement for you. So, people feed cake cubes or cattle cubes or the feed they get at the store. In many cases, that feed is not the primary food source for that animal. It is a supplement. Think of you taking your vitamins in the morning or drinking a protein shake. That's the equivalent of that. And a lot of people in our area, they feed nothing but either 20% cubes or 14% cubes. Percentage is the protein that you're getting. Well, I'm here to tell you that I might be able to save you some money if you have either really good hay or if you're feeding too much protein. If you've got a high protein hay, but maybe it's low in the digestible nutrients, we don't need to be paying for 20% protein, higher protein cubes. We can buy the cheaper one. And you'll find that, hey, my animal's getting all the nutrients it needs. In some cases, some hays don't even need supplement. So don't get me wrong, I'm going to still feed a couple of cubes to my cows so that they come when I drive the truck up. I want them following me. But there's instances where, if you're a producer with 30 head of cows, which is a common amount of cattle for 160 acres or something like that, if you're a producer with 30 head of cows, just switching from 20% to 14% because you have higher protein hay can easily save you $2,000 to $3,000.
Yeah, and that $14 test could save you that money.
Exactly. Yeah. Or on the flip side, if it's of lower quality hay, we can make sure we're getting that nutrients that they need to perform at the level we need them to perform out there. So either way, you're probably making money by forage testing in the end, just making sure that that animal is healthy, or that we're, you'll hear from like the sale barn owner in Blackwell, Lance, or other producers, feeding cows too much food does not make you money.
Right.
Fat cattle do not make money. Well-conditioned, good-conditioned cattle make you money. So anyway, we're talking about forage testing today. If you guys have any questions about forage testing or how to supplement and how to determine that amount of supplement that my animal needs, please give the K County OSU Extension Office a phone call or your local Extension office. We'd be glad to help you with that at 580-362-3194 or stop by the office in Newkirk on the corner of 9th and Maple on the Courthouse Square.
And that's Monday through Friday?
Monday through Friday, 8 o'clock till 4:30.
8 to 4:30. All right. Thanks for coming in, Shannon.
Thank you, Beverly.
Always nice to have you in studio. See you next week.
Yes.
No hunting, right?
But
in the meantime.
just not Friday morning.
Have you got one yet? Have you got a deer yet?
I've been I've seen a lot of deer. No big bucks.
No big bucks
Yeah,
yet.
no big bucks yet,
All right,
but a lot of deer.
I got some Nazareth up next. Hair of the Dog. Keep it tuned to 99.3.
101 Country KPNC. Kelsey Ballerini, if you go down, I'm going down to some Blake Shelton right before that. And in studio with us this morning from the K County OSU Extension Office, Shannon Mallory.
Good morning.
I got it right today.
Yeah.
Yes.
Nailed it. Yeah.
only
You're
took me
you're on your game this
It
morning,
only took
Jimmy.
like 8 months, but we got it figured out.
No, we got to figure it out. Yeah.
So what's going on, Shannon?
Oh, not a whole lot. I got to give props to two events that we had yesterday. Well, I didn't do one of them, but one was our K County Master Gardeners. They had their fall workshop yesterday. We had about 25 people there. Everybody went home with a kokedama and a succulent. It was windy. I got to find a windy. I got to find a term for windier than something. I don't know. I can't find it. So someone's yelling it at the radio for something for us to say.
And we just can't hear him back yet.
Yeah.
We'll get that figured out.
It's this. Anyway, but it was windy yesterday morning, and we actually ended up moving it into the bus barn at First United Methodist Church, which we appreciate them being so attentive and helpful for us, getting us keys
definitely.
to move the buses out and stuff, so that we could be out of the wind.
You drive the bus.
I did drive the bus.
Oh,
yeah, I'm the bus backer upper guy.
That's
You know,
scary.
Dude, I'm trained,
I
yeah.
know.
Anyway, so we got that taken care of and had a wonderful time. Laura Payne from Payne County OSU Extension came up and did a presentation. I talked about tree trimming for about as long as you would want me to talk about tree trimming. And then we got done and went ahead and did our Kokedama program. There's some pictures on the Facebook and Instagram of that if you guys would like to check them out. We had a great time with our Master Gardeners and the people that were able to make it out that day.
Good.
Yeah. Then this evening, yesterday evening, I was right across the street. Doodle Academy is literally across the street.
Right across the street,
Yep.
yes, sir.
And PYE, Ponca Young Employees, was there. And we did a paint and sip night, and that was a whole lot of fun. So props to Austin for putting that together with the PYE board. So that was a whole lot of fun. So we did a lot Thursday.
A busy day.
Yes.
Busy day.
Exactly. It was a good time. But we're lucky this year, or at least cattle producers were lucky this year. We might just now be feeding hay.
Starting to feed hay, yeah.
Yes. Last year, it was like September 1. We were
way
feeding
early.
very early for feeding hay. So we might just be doing that. Cattle producers, if you haven't yet, let me get 5 minutes of your time to tell you why you should forage test. Yeah. So, and some of you are probably going, Shannon, where are my forage test results? I promise they're coming. They're busy at the lab.
It takes a few weeks.
It takes a couple more than a couple weeks right now because everybody's testing. But yeah, all right. So, what if I told you I could save you money by testing your forage? Oh, I like money.
Break that down for me.
Break it down for you.
Yeah, how are we going to save money by testing it?
Yes. So the results of a forage test will give us two important numbers that I use. I'm sure there's some people that use other numbers on there.
Right.
But crude protein and total digestible nutrients are the two numbers that I use to determine the quality of forage that we have. Crude protein and TDN, total digestible nutrients. Crude protein is exactly for like you and me. It's protein, it builds muscle and stuff, which, what do we have on our plate? With a burger or a steak,
right.
It's
Protein.
muscle.
Muscle,
It's
protein.
been turned from protein into exactly.
Yeah.
You're right on it. You skipped it. You skipped a step, but it's right on it, Jimmy.
It's the final answer that we're looking for, right?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Were you one of those kids in school that the teachers got mad that you didn't show your work?
Well, I couldn't. I was copying it off my neighbor.
Oh man. Anyway, so the other one is total digestible nutrients, which basically, and this is for scientific purposes that I'm telling you guys this, if 30% of that hay goes out the back end of the cow that they consumed, that means that it's 70% total digestible nutrients because they digested 70. So basically, that's the quick explanation. There's some nuances there, but the quick explanation is, how much of that food is being turned into nutrients for that cow.
For them, yeah.
So those two numbers we can use after we've collected the forage sample, and we do have hay probes that connect up to like a power drill that we can drill into the side at the extension office for lending, that we can drill into the side of the hay bale to get a really good sample. Please don't just grab into the bale like right off the top or one layer. We really want to get a good average sample. Say you have 50 bales, we'd like to take a sample from 15 of them from the net wrap or twine wrap side of it with one of these probes going through all those different layers of
and
hay.
getting as deep into that bale as you can.
Exactly. And you're getting a good representative average of what you've got. We found that it's really close to accurate, less than 10% deviation of what the actual hay test is by just taking 10 to 15 core samples like that of over a 50 bale area,
Right.
Anyway, but we go ahead and do that. A forage test is $14, so that's all the costs that we have in there. If you have, and we've talked about nitrate toxicity on air before,
Yes.
a lot of people are familiar with it. If you have Johnson grass, hay grazer, or sorghum Sudan grass, those are both the same species, corn, milo, brome, or millet, we do recommend doing a nitrate toxicity test as well.
Okay.
There's always a chance that those types of hays could get into high levels of nitrate, which can be toxic to cattle.
Yes.
And stuff. But most you'll be in is $20 for this one soil test or forage test. I'm not soil test.
What are we testing again?
What are we testing again? Yep, I know. I messed up on there. But anyway, $20 for this forage test. That's going to give us our crude protein and TDN. If you have a hay that's high in crude protein and low in total digestible nutrients, I am here to tell you, you do not need to be paying for 37% cubes or 20% cubes. We probably just need to be feeding 12 or 14% cubes, which
Okay.
are significantly cheaper to feed.
So there's some
one
of
way
there's
we're saving
some of our money coming back.
Yeah, there's one way we're saving money. If it's the other way around, where maybe we have a really low protein, hey, we've got some native grass that was late cutting or something in August, maybe it's only 4% protein, but it's got a high TDN, total digestible nutrient number, that can be turned around, and we then start feeding a higher protein supplement for that. Cattle cubes, as most people call them, or cake cubes, they're just supplement to the food that you're feeding them mainly.
Right.
Yeah. Some people will think that's, we buy all those bags of feed, or people stop at the co-op and that's all they're feeding them. No, it is a supplement to the forage that they're eating. Yeah. But if it's high or low in protein and high in TDN, it's beneficial financially and to the animal to feed them a higher protein cube. And it actually means we have to feed less pounds of that cube, which I don't know if y'all have priced. They price it by the ton, So if we're feeding less by weight, we're saving money in that aspect. Or the best case scenario, and it does happen with probably about 20-25% of bales that we test for this forage, the crude protein and the TDN are high enough to supplement or to cover those protein and TDN needs for that cow. Even if that cow's in her third trimester, which is the highest nutrient need level for that animal. So we base it on the stage of what that cow or what that steer we're feeding or whatever. That hay may be enough, and we don't even need to feed supplement.
Right.
So you don't even have to, don't get me wrong. I love my trips to the feed store, but
Well, doesn't everybody?
Yes, but you don't even have to feed cubes because your hay is of high enough quality.
You're getting enough protein that you don't need it.
And we've ran into that before with a couple of people, and I was blessed to get this phone call back from somebody. I said, hey, your hay is showing that, even if the cow's in the last trimester, she doesn't need to be fed. So basically you don't have to feed cubes and stuff. And he still did one time a week just to get them to come up and check them and stuff like that. But he told me, he goes, my feed bill, and he, there's a market and stuff. He goes, my feed bill this year for 30 head of cattle, just 30 head of cattle, was $1,500 cheaper than the previous year. And I mean, don't get me wrong, that's not like life-changing amount of money. But I mean, it's in my pocket.
It adds
Money
up.
in my pocket is great, know. So these are real applicable things that Extension can help you with simple $20 forage test and a little bit of your time to go out there and sample it, and then we get the results in about 3 weeks or so, and we're able to report back to you what kind of supplement you need to be feeding your animal,
if any.
Yeah. So that's my little spiel pitch today. Bring me your forage test.
Bring them up.
Yeah, bring them
right
on
there
up,
to Newkirk.
and we'll get them taken care of. If you have any questions or any more details that you want to know about this, give us a phone call at the K County Extension Office, 580-362-3194, or just come visit us up in Newkirk. We're on the corner of 9th and Maple, which is on the courthouse square there in Newkirk.
Can't miss it.
You probably could, actually. It's just a white metal building, but but you'll find it if you're looking for it. Yeah.
All righty. Well, thanks for stopping by, Shannon.
Yep. Thank you so much, Jimmy.
Have a great weekend.
I will.